Legacy Collectibles is proud and pleased to be entrusted with the collection of Robert Saltsman. Now here's an overview of what he sent us, and no, he has not passed away, and this is not his entire collection. But I'd estimate there's about $250,000 here on this table, and little by little we will be presenting these in video, but also offering them on our website. Robert started collecting when he was in high school. Back then he specialized in long rifles and flintlocks, something I don't know anything about. But later, he got interest in German pistols, especially when he started watching our videos. No matter what he was collecting, Robert tended to specialize in quality guns that were original finish in an excellent condition. And that's what we will be showing you as we roll this out. So make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can see some of the guns of Robert Saltsman and maybe even have a chance to own one. Now I'm going to do a series of videos where I highlight some of these guns. And to start off, the first two, one is going to be the Tyrolean PP, which we've shown you before, and then also the American Eagle Luger, owned by Howard Hughes. Check out this video that you may have seen before. So the Tyrolean shooter prize, they all fall in the same serial range, and I did a previous video about this. Tyrol, it's in the Austrian region, just north of Italy. So that's the Alpine region. We recognize it from the Ricola commercial with the big horns, and we also recognize it from the lederhosen, the boys in their shorts and suspenders. And they also were pretty famous for their target shooting, skiing, target shooting. It's still an Olympic game. And all the way back to 1939, they were doing shooting competitions in the Tyrolean region. And they had held this at least once a year, maybe more than that. So as part of their prizes, I don't know if it was just the first place or first, second, third place. All I know is they ordered about 100 pistols and rifles that went to the winners of the different competitions that were held. The first time I saw this Tyrolean Eagle, I was actually at a gun show, and I picked this up and I said, there's some kind of marking on this, and I didn't understand what it was. Here's actually one of the pins. This one is from 1941. They gave out these pins in 1939. I used to have one for every year, 39, 40, 41, all the way up to 1944. So they held the competitions, even during the war, all the way up to 1944. This is one of the pins, and that is considered a Tyrolean Eagle. And that's what you see there. Now that Tyrolean Eagle is the same Tyrolean Eagle that you will see on this gun. Here's a better look at one. This is one that, I think this one I own. The Eagle is a little better struck. Pretty much all of the ones I've ever seen, the Eagle is not struck really well, so it's sometimes hard to see. But it's even better to see it on the rifle. Here's a .22 caliber rifle. You can see on the receiver, it has the same Tyrolean Eagle, and that was given out as a shooter prize or the pistol. I probably would have picked the pistol. And with only 100 made, these are extremely rare, very valuable, and highly collectible. And this one is one of a kind. I mentioned it was owned by Howard Hughes. Now, I've talked to some of the Utes, the young'uns who work here, and they're like, Howard who? Howard Hughes, they actually made a movie about his life, The Aviator. He was one of the most famous early billionaires. Today, billionaires are a lot more common, but he was a billionaire in the 1930s and a movie producer. He made movies, and he made millions off of movies. Then later, when the war broke out, being an aviator, he designed planes that were used by the U.S. Army. He had patents on all his designs and made millions and even into the billions of dollars. He became famous in all the tabloids, having dated a lot of the famous actresses, having made movies. Some of the movies became very popular. One in particular, Hell's Angels. I thought Hell's Angels was a motorcycle movie, and it is, but there was one made before it. The original Hell's Angels were pilots in World War I, you know, the guys in the biplane. Here's a DVD of the Hell's Angels movie. I think it's been Hollywoodized because I don't think her dress was ever that revealing in 1930. Also, the movie's completely black and white. I watched portions of it, but you see Howard Hughes, Jean Harlow, she was an early movie star, and she didn't become famous from this, but she made this famous. And I believe it's in this movie where she says, "Why don't you hold on while I put on something a little more comfortable?" She said that back in the 1930s, and that became a famous phrase. People tell me that all the time. But this is the movie Hell's Angels, and in the movie, they use this Luger. Now, we have a sworn affidavit that this Luger, it's serial number 7888. You can check it out right here. It is 7888. It's an American Eagle. You know from the dish toggle, it's a model 1900. So we have a model 1900, probably made in about 1904, and it's in .30 caliber. It was imported into the United States and owned by Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes, when the movie was a blockbuster, I don't know if it won any awards, but they said it was a blockbuster movie in 1930. And again, they're fighting the Germans, but in this case, it would have been World War I, not World War II. They're fighting the Germans. Well, maybe the best thing to do is to show you some of the documentation. We'll take a look at that, but let me finish looking at the gun first. You can see it does have a wood bottom blank magazine, which is correct, nickel plated tube, and all of the numbers are matching. This is not numbered, but all the numbers are matching. Again, a 1900 American Eagle. Now, without any attribution, this is probably a $4,500 gun. With the attribution, it makes it one of a kind. And let's go over and take a look at some of the documentation that comes with this gun. Okay, I've already mentioned the movie itself, but of course this was in black and white, and I don't remember this scene in the movie at all. And there's the main actor, who I never heard of, Ben Lyon and Jean Harlow. This is, I think, Howard Hughes with Jean Harlow. He's a much younger Howard Hughes. Interestingly, if you watch the movie The Aviator, he was extreme OCD. So I can't imagine if she touched him on the hands that he didn't immediately go and disinfect. And he was an aviator and designed aircraft. Here's pictures of him later in life. And again, he got a lot of government contracts and patents, and was revolutionary in some of his designs. Now, here's the important part: the sworn affidavit that this American Luger, and there's the serial number 7888, was given to my stepfather, Joseph March, around 1931. Movie was made in 1930. 31, it was presented by Howard Hughes as a token of appreciation following the completed production of Hell's Angels, for which my stepfather wrote the screenplay. According to what my stepfather told me, the pistol was used in the execution scene when one of the captive American pilots was forced to shoot his own brother. Now, we went back and looked at the video. I guess they didn't call it video back then. We watched the movie, and it's toward the end. The two pilots are being held captive. And you see in this scene, the one American pilot is brought before the German officer. Now, he looks a little bit like Colonel Klink from Hogan's Heroes, but he does certainly look sinister. And that's the way you want to portray the Germans if you are between the wars. And so here is the gun just down in the corner of the shot. You can see it. And now you can see where our American hero, he picks it up, and the German then tells him, "Don't worry, it's not loaded." And the German says, "I will let you live if you shoot your comrade." So he somehow doesn't make any sense to me in terms of the screenwriting, but he says, okay. And he goes in, and turns out his fellow pilot is his brother. And you can see here in this scene, he shoots his brother dies in his arms, and then those dirty Nazis, oh wait, they're not Nazis, this is World War I. Those dirty Germans take the main character out, and they execute him after they said, "If you shoot your brother, we'll let you go free." Dirty Nazis. And this was the gun that was used in the movie. And again, it was owned by Howard Hughes at that moment in time, but then given as a gift to the screenwriter of the movie. There's one other document here. Sold to Thomas Whiteman, that's me. I bought this back in 2017 from History Hunter. It was actually an auction, and I was surprised to get it as cheaply as I could. This auction was put on by Craig Gottlieb, if you know him. He's appeared in several History Channel and Pawn Stars and things like that. He valued the gun at about $50,000. I got it for far less. So this is now being offered. Again, it's on our website. One of a kind, way less than $50,000, but a very famous gun from a movie of years gone by. I should say days of yore or yesteryears. Hey, there's a lot of history there and worth watching again. I wish I could own both of these guns, but I'm going to offer them to you first.